Hey everyone, in this video, I'm going to help you pick out the right online poker site for you. For those that don't know me, I'm Chris George, an online poker player for the last 15 years. Throughout my career, I've played on a lot of different sites and I've played a lot of different variants of poker. Throughout that time, I've figured out a few of the important things to consider when choosing the right online site. The first thing to consider is the game offerings. Now, every online site is going to be different. Some sites offer all of the games, some sites offer some of the games, but most of the sites are going to offer a core selection of games from No Limit Hold'em and Pot Limit Omaha. Usually you'll see some No Limit Hold'em cash games, some Pot Limit Omaha cash games and tournaments, and of course No Limit Hold'em tournaments. Now, it really depends on what game you play. So the first thing I'd always suggest doing before signing up for a site is checking out the lobbies and seeing what they offer. If you can't open up the lobbies on some of the sites, then you can also look at their website and see what games are spread. So first, once you figure out if the game that you want to play is on the site, then you can start comparing the sites. So the second most important thing to consider when looking for a game online is what is the rake and rewards structure of the site. Now, this is going to be different across all of the sites, but it's a very important thing to look into. The rake is going to be one of the, if not the most important things to consider when trying to beat a game. Now, usually you're playing against other players, and the winner from whoever you're playing is going to win the money. However, if the rake is too high and the site is taking too much of a percentage, everyone is going to lose. So it's really important if you are looking to beat the games, if you're looking to have, a win rate, that you make sure the rake structure and rewards are manageable. Now, personally, I currently play No Limit Hold'em Cash online. So when I first started looking for a site to play cash games, I made a spreadsheet and I compared all of the rake percentages for each player cap. And then I also looked at the rewards that they were offering. So, for example, if you take a look at the left site, you'll see all of the different sites that I listed that I was considering playing. And I took the different stakes from each one of them that was comparable. So some sites don't have a 2-5, but they have a 2-4. So I would take the 2-5 structure from PokerStars and compare it with the 2-4 structure of Winamax. Now, I listed all of the different links to the rake in each percentage. So if you are interested in this spreadsheet, I can post it in the description below. If you are a No Limit Hold'em cash game player, this will be relevant for you. Otherwise, if you do play tournaments or Pot Limit Omaha, you're going to have to look through the different rake structures on each one of the sites that will be listed in each one of these links. So the first thing to look at is the rake percentage. What percentage are they taking? Is it going to be 5%? Is it going to be 6%? Some sites even only take 3%. But the other thing to consider when looking at the rake is what the cap is. So the cap is the amount of money that they will take at the maximum. Now, most sites have around a $3 cap, but there are sites that do have a very high cap of around $8. So it's important to check which sites have what cap as well as what rake percentage. Then you can look through the rake back and the rewards section. Now, typically you're going to have a lot of different systems. GG has their own fish buffet reward system based on how well you do in their games, which can, vary from 10-20% rake back all the way up to 60% rake back, depending on how well you do on their site. Then you have other sites that just have a flat rake back system like Coin Poker, where I believe that no matter how many hands you've played or whether you're winning on the site or not, you're always going to get 30% rake back. So it's important to do your research about what systems they have in place, because even though a site might have a lot of rake, they might also have a really good rake back system. But if you do see that a site has a lot of rake and a really bad rake back system, that's probably a good idea to stay away. So it is really important to make sure that you do your research when it comes to looking through the rakeback and the rewards. And then once you figure out if this site has low rake, good rewards, then it might be a good one to pick. Next, it is important to look at the traffic of the site. Now, if you're like me and you like to be competitive and you want to win, it is good to be on a site that has a lot of traffic because that will allow you to game select better. If you're on a site with absolutely no traffic, well, you won't get any games. But as those sites get more popular, obviously you're going to have more selection, which means you're going to be able to pick the games in which you feel like you can beat at a higher win rate. So it is important to notice which sites have what traffic. And in order to do that, you can take a look at this site called Poker Scout. Now, they historically have tracked all of the volume and the traffic of each site. So if you look here, this is the front page of their site, and you can see GG Network has about an average of 12,500 7-day, and they'll show you what the peak is, what time it peaks, and if you click each individual site, you can get more information. So historically, I have used this site to look through different sites to consider which ones would be good if they have a high traffic. Now, just because a site has a high traffic and it doesn't mean that they're a good site, right? Like there are some sites that have high traffic, but because they have high traffic, they're able to charge a lot of rake, and they're able to really construct a scenario in which maybe the winning player isn't winning as much. So it is important to understand that when a site does have a lot of traffic, it doesn't mean it's a good site. Sometimes the best sites are the ones with a medium amount of traffic or even a low amount of traffic, and the games can just be really wild or fun. So it's good to test out different sites, but it is important to have a little bit of traffic so that if you do play a game, maybe that's not common or a higher stake game, that it actually does run. And lastly, it's important that the site is safe. Now, a lot of sites have bot detection and a dedicated game integrity team. So it's important that if that is a major concern for you, that you do your research and you make sure that the site has that dedication for safety. You'll have noticed that in my spreadsheet that I had a little column for that, as that's very important for me because I strive to play some of the highest stakes online. So I'm always making sure that I feel safe on the sites that I play. Thanks for tuning in to the video. I really appreciate it. I'm planning on making more content for YouTube in the near future. So if there's anything related to online poker that you guys would like to see, leave it in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for some more future content on online poker.